Thank you. A little over a year ago, I was coming onto campus for my junior year and early for SOS. I was an SOS leader. I was driving onto campus with my mom. I was in the passenger seat, and we were driving into the Lee parking lot. And I can remember saying to her, I was like, Mom, I am so excited for this year. I feel so blessed by everything that God has put in my life, and I'm so happy that I'm terrified something bad is going to happen. And literally 3 hours later, that anxiety became a reality. After we had moved, my parents and I had moved everything into the apartment, we were all settled in, I went and looked at my computer and I had an email that said, from financial aid, that said that they were taking away the majority of my financial aid. I, at first, thought this must be a huge mistake. How could I not see this coming? How come I didn't prevent this from happening? I was frustrated with myself. I was shocked. And I just knew in the pit of my stomach that this was going to be pretty tragic news for my family. Because like many people here, we've been struggling financially the last several years. My dad was out of work for 2.5 years, and it was by the grace of God that I was here in the first place, and we were just hanging on by a thread. So we knew that this was not good news. And so with school starting in 1 week, and I still had all these SOS obligations to fulfill, my family was in a scramble to find this money somehow and keep me here. And through all that, I was so thankful to have had all these different people by my side. Even though I felt like God kind of wasn't listening to me, I had all these friends and faculty praying over me. That entire SOS staff prayed for my family. Dr. Malloy prayed for me on the first day of class, the first day I met her. My coach Eddie and Dr. Muehlhoff wrote letters on my behalf to keep me here, which was such an honor. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the scholarship back, but I was able to get a little bit of money back, which was such a blessing, but it was still an unreachable amount for me to stay here. And so I was starting to accept that this wasn't what God wanted for me, and this isn't where I was supposed to be, even though I was sure of it before. I just was starting to accept that I was going to have to let go of my friends, let go of SOS, let go of the swim team, let go of pretty much the school that changed my life, and just starting to accept that. After months of no answers, and really starting to be okay with the fact that this was how it was going to be, I drove home for Thanksgiving break, which was up in Northern California, if you guys are from there. It's about a 6-hour drive. And that was the first time I'd been home since I found out about the news, first time I saw my parents, and I walked in the door, and first thing I see is my mom is in tears. And I froze, and I was like, okay, is there gonna be more bad news? And I just asked her, I said, Mom, what's wrong? And she said, Amber, I just was with Maureen and Dave, and they heard how bad we were struggling financially, and they want to pay for the rest of your year here so that you can stay where you belong. And needless to, I just started crying just right there. Didn't even have my bags on the floor. I was just bawling. And I was floored. I was completely floored. I had never been so affirmed of God's love before in my entire life, where it was so clear that this is where He wanted me. And all the people that He put in my life to bless me, it gives me chills. And I recognize that there's probably 100 stories here of people who are going through something similar or worse, or maybe they didn't have a happy ending, or maybe you're going through it right now. But I just encourage you to remember that God is with you even when you're not hearing Him. And, just He's there with you. And Biola is so precious to me, and I have not taken a day for granted since then. And, He was with me when I was crying and when I was rejoicing, and He was with financial aid when they had to send that letter. And even though what I thought was going to be the greatest year of my life ended up being the most challenging, God was with me. Thank you.
Biola University offers a variety of biblically centered degree programs, ranging from business to ministry to the arts and sciences. Visit biola.edu to find out how Biola could make a difference in your life.